What is good, YouTube? Now that we done with all 30 teams, we're gonna talk about all 15 teams at each conference. This was requested. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at every single team in this conference, which is the Western Conference, and pick what's gonna be the best team through the regular season and the worst teams. We're gonna start off with the worst teams all the way to the top. This is basically roster, play style, coaching, talent, injuries, age, basically factoring in every single thing that could possibly happen without knowing what's going to happen. And that's what make it fun. Of course, a lot of this is going to be wrong. It's all for fun. It's all just to really have something to look forward to when the season start. A lot of this is based on teams having experience and playing together already, and teams aging and teams having to figure things out or having a new coach, which we really don't know what to expect because we haven't seen the coach these particular players. This is also disqualifying trades. Some of these players could be traded or moved by the time the trade deadline happens. Buyouts happen, and this could entirely change based off those things. It's just based off what we know now going into the season, and that's it. That's what make it fun. 15, OKC. This will be the worst team in the conference to me. They have no scoring. They have no spacing. They don't have too many go-to players that can get you a bucket. Plus, they might compete, but they're not going to be great defensively either. They have a recipe for failure. That's what they want because they want to get another lottery pick to get somebody that can really change the trajectory of this franchise, which they currently don't have. Unfortunately, that's part of the rebuilding process is losing. Then you get back up. We'll see what happens with them. Houston, they have a lot of young talent, a lot of guys with potential, a lot of guys that have to develop. With them not really knowing what to expect from their young guys, plus trying to get rid of some of their older guys, plus on top of that, having a coach that still gotta, teach and grow and learn these guys. Mistakes gonna happen. They're gonna be in games. They're gonna blow games. They're gonna lose just because they don't know how to win or they ain't ready or prepared for it. That's understandable for a young team, especially with a young star that hasn't even played one season yet. It's all gonna be learning and growing this year, and losing is a part of that. The Pelicans, I like Zion, I like Ingram, but if they're not going to defend, they're going to be a terrible team again, especially because they're also not a great offensive team. If you're not great defensively, not great offensively, one player is not going to carry you to that much. We've seen that a lot last year. You have to have a good supporting cast. You have to be great at something. This team isn't great at really much, and that's why they're going to be a bad team. Sacramento, they can get up and down. They got more weapons. They got more switchability. They have size. They just don't have elite level talent. They're not a great offensive team or amazing. They also are one of the worst defensive teams, but they have a little bit more talent than these other teams and a better roster. It's just they don't have enough to be great or good. The Spurs, they have a lot of good pieces, not a lot of great pieces. Coaching really does help them. That's why they've been in the playing conversation. I feel like they lost a lot more talent last year, and now they're heading even closer to the bottom. But they still have guys that have played experience, play well together, play well off of each other, and then they still have Pop, who's going to make them accountable, allow them to play the right way, and give them opportunities to win games. And that's why I still have them at 11. 10, I have Minnesota. They should be on the uptick. They should be in the play-in conversation this year. Guys should get better. A year under, playing with each other. Guys being more healthier. Guys being more hungrier. Guys wanting to prove themselves. Guys wanting to show out. I don't think they'd be a great defensive team, but offensively they should be a lot better, and they shooting should be a lot better. And even though I don't expect them to be a playoff team or something amazing that's going to blow our mind, they should be a lot better than they was last year, and that should give them advantage of the other teams. The Clippers, they have Ty Lue. He's one of the better coaches. They have solid defensive players. They have enough offense. They have an all-star, all-NBA player in Paul George. They're one injury away from being in the lottery, But if they stay healthy, they got veterans. They got a lot of guys that really can play well off each other and with others. And they got a lot of guys that understand what they are and how to best utilize themselves for a team. And Ty Lue is good at knowing how to get the right lineups out there, get the right matchups, and he knows how to win games at this point as a coach. And with the experience and guys that are going to be battle and ready, they should be able to win enough games to put themselves in a position to make the playoffs. But we know how the season goes. We know how the West is. Will that be enough to make the playoffs? I think not. Number 8, Golden State. Without Clay and not enough offense, I think they struggle with the same problem. They can't take too many hits to Steph unless they're just going to be one of the worst teams. If Steph can stay healthy and continue to be dominant, they have a chance to be a playoff team, playing team again. They have better depth. They have a little bit more scoring. We don't really know what they're going to get from Clay, but he should help because it's better him playing than him not playing at all. But I don't think Clay is enough, the way he's going to be when he comes back to put this team into the upper echelon. And I think that they're going to be enough to be competitive. They're going to hang around just like we seen last year, but they should be able to sneak in. A lot of teams have been beat up, injured, or inexperienced. They should have enough to sneak into that 8th spot. I guess that's a good season for them now, but that's what they're headed for. Memphis, I like them a little bit better. They have a little bit more experience. They have a little bit more depth. They changed a little bit about their roster, but guys should be healthier. Jaren Jackson and these guys should be able to play more games. They should be able to, build upon what they've been doing with this organization and this team. They have shown a lot of great characteristics. They have shown a lot of great, growth throughout the years, and I don't think that they take a step back. I think they take a step forward by going from a team fighting to be in the playoffs to a team that will be in the playoffs. They just have to solidify their spot. I don't see them being an elite or amazing team, but they have one of the better, well-rounded rosters and coaches and play styles and systems and understanding of how to win games at this point to where we should expect them to be a playoff team. Their question will be, can they take a step up and be a dangerous team? I don't see that this year, but they have enough to make the playoffs. 6, I got Portland. They got Dame. They got CJ. They got good talent around them. The coaching change will be fun to see where they defend better, how they will score, how they will play. But when you look at the roster, when you look at the talent at the top, they have enough to be one of the better teams in the West. They're going to be middle of pack as always. And I think that how the West is shaking out, they better than the other teams, especially because they guys usually stay healthy. And even when they don't, they still win anyway. They're going to have enough to still be a playoff team, just not a home court team. Dallas, I like what they have done. They brought a lot of guys back, got a little bit more spacing. Luka torched the NBA, especially in the playoffs. If he continues to play like that or a little close to that, they're going to be tough and hard to beat. And we just got to see if Porzingis can give us that 20-plus points again. They'll be dangerous. They'll be tough. They'll be tough to defend and tough to, play against. And they will collect a lot of W's easily. So I think they'll be 5th. Denver, I like Jokic. He was the MVP. I had him for my MVP. They got off to a rough start, but they still finished within the top 4. I think that they have a better system, a better understanding, a better play style, knowing that Jamal Murray isn't there. And they understand that now. They know how to play without him. Plus, he will eventually be back. But I think them being battle tested in the playoffs will really help them understand what they are and what they're trying to do when they don't have Jamal Murray and they have guys like Will Barton and Monte Morris that's ready to perform, as starters. And I think that they will really help this team offensively, and they still will be dangerous and they still will be tough to defend. And we don't even know what Michael Porter Jr. is going to be, but he's been improving and getting better. Hopefully, he can have a breakout season, and that can keep them in the top 4 and home court advantage. 3, I have the Lakers. The problem with the Lakers is we don't really know how this team is going to play. We look at the talent. They got LeBron, they got AD, they got Russell. It looks good. It seems good. But they got to figure things out. They got to figure out how to play with each other, how to win games, who's going to have the ball, all these different things that could possibly mess up things, lose them games, cost them games, cost them losing streaks, but it also can help them win because they have so much talent and guys that have won at this league for a long time. And a defense will be good because of Frank Vogel. The question will be consistency. The question will be, is they going to be able to, to sustain the injuries because they are older and their guys gonna have to play a lot of minutes because their best guys are old, and that always factor in like we seen last year, and that can cost them a lot of W's. Plus inexperience that can really hurt them because they have a lot of new pieces in this team, and they have to literally learn how to play with each other, play their roles, play off of each other, and that can take some time to get used to. And that's why I have them third. And then second, I got the Phoenix Suns. I would have them number one, but I think they got better depth wise, but I also think the Eastern teams got better. So I don't expect them to be running rump shirt all over the league. I expect them to be great offensively. I expect them to be great defensively, and I expect them to be in conversation like they was last year for the number one seed, if not number one. But I do expect them to be dangerous. This team, once Aiden gets paid, has everything figured out, everything solved, and they really don't have any holes. And the holes that they did have, I feel like they fixed a lot more with veterans or guys that can play similar roles on this team. So I like everything Phoenix have done. Don't fix what ain't broken. They know their system. They know how to play. They know how to play with each other. That's an advantage, and they showed that last year right away. And I don't really see that changing this year. I still got the Jazz number one. Same coach, same system, same play style. And I feel like they played amazing in the playoffs. They just flopped and crumbled in the big moments like they usually do. But when you're in the regular season, you're going to have one of the best defenses as always. You're going to have one of the most toughest and unstoppable offense as always. And ultimately, y'all have the continuity, y'all have the chemistry, y'all have the roles and everything figured out. Plus, y'all defense is probably going to be better than everybody's or just right up there. Plus, y'all have one of the toughest offenses to stop. Plus, that's what they did last year. I don't really expect them to go down unless injuries happen. I really feel like they just that tough. They might not be the champions like we seen last year, but when it comes to facing everybody in the league, them and the Suns should have the easiest times racking up W's if they stay healthy, and that's why I have them still at the top of the West. You can pick one or the other to be number one or number two. You can bet on LeBron and AD to be number one or number two. But those should be the three best teams in this conference. The order we won't know, but I think that they will be at the end of the day if they can stay healthy. But at the same time, this is my prediction. This is what I feel. This is what I think. And I think the Jazz will finish number one again. I feel like they barely did it last year, but Donovan Mitchell and those guys was injured during the end of the year, and they still was able to secure the number one seed. I think if they run that back again, they can do it again. Their goal should be is to win the title now. They achieved the number one record in the entire NBA. They have been one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. Now it should be trying to win a title. They add some new pieces. They add some things that can change some things up lineup wise and give them a little bit more mobility at the four and three positions. But they got great system, great understanding, and great continuity, and that's why I have them in the Suns number one and number two again in the NBA Western Conference. Let me know what I got right, what I got wrong, what you think in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis signing out. I'll be back with the East tomorrow.